My name is Barrett Ragsdale. This is my capstone presentation, spring semester 2016. And today I'm going to start out talking about my first project that was developed during EFD 552 Diversity Issues course. And this right here is my personal definition of diversity that was developed through the coursework. And there's many ways that one can be diverse, and many ways that an area can be diverse. And it's always not just race, color, ethnicity. There's many ways that we can be diverse, and within our education system, there are many ways that our classrooms are a diverse learning atmosphere. So I want to look first, I want to start out the whole thing, I want to talk about how techniques in being a diverse teacher can affect school and achievement. So right here are our test scores at Spring Garden School, and our target group is the 5th grade, this year's 6th grade class. And out of 55 students tested, only 11 students, as you can see here, scored at or above benchmark. And so we want to look at two target groups that we can change our approach in education and may increase student achievement levels. And the two target groups for us today that we're talking about is poverty, student poverty, and diversity of our faculty and staff. So we looked at this project and what areas could we make changes in that would make student achievement, that would affect student achievement in a positive manner. And these are two areas that we as a group came up with: poverty, how we need to address that issue, and also diversity of faculty and staff. Now, this is the racial breakdown of Spring Garden School, okay, K through 12. You can see that we are not a very racially diverse school, with the majority of our student population, 91%, being white, Caucasian. So diversity here, race, that is not a diverse population. So we want to look at ways that we can be diverse, and when we're not just talking about race as the key thing being diverse. So we came up with goals in order to create a diverse atmosphere. And the first thing, and probably the most important thing, was, as you can see here, is a thing here that is defined as bridging social capital. Okay, and this was a term used by Dr. Payne when teaching in poverty, but bridging social capital and not bonding social capital. And what this means is teachers, first, most of all, we must try to take students of different socioeconomic status levels and allow them to group with students from other levels of socioeconomic status. So that is bridging. Now, when you bond, then you just have groups of students. Maybe you have a group of students that are in poverty, and they all bond together. Your middle class students bond together. Your wealthy class students all bond together. But what we as teachers, one of the things that we need to do, we need to aim at making all students feel as they were equal in the educational process, so that we could bridge and each social class could learn from each other. The second thing is that we need to train. You can't just tell teachers to do this. We need to make resources and training more readily available throughout the year, throughout the summer, to allow teachers to gain the knowledge in order to become a diverse teacher. And the last thing is create an overall mission statement that is practical for each and every student within our school system. So what is the goal for each student while coming to Spring Garden School? What are we striving to get them to do? What goal are we reaching for? So when making our goal or our mission statement, we've got to make sure that it's practical and obtainable for all students. Now, our goals for students of poverty. Okay, number one thing as an educator that you can do in a positive manner is to build a relationship with a student and make sure that each student knows that you care for them and you want them to reach the goal or the mission statement of the school. So staff members, we must strive to build relationships, not with just students that we connect with, but with each student. And students living in poverty, we've got to make sure that we make connections with them as teachers so they can learn ways to get out of that status. Secondly, teachers must model. We must be models. All these kind of go hand in hand. We must model how to act, model how to speak at a higher level. You need examples. And if you're living in poverty, if we have students that are living in poverty or even lower middle class, they need examples of how to communicate with one another, how to coexist in today's society. And so teachers must perform that modeling. And the last thing is we must explain ourselves, explain rules, explain our rationale behind classroom or school rules, so our students, no matter what level they're at, will understand the purpose. Each rule has a purpose, and how does that rule affect them in reaching our overall goal with our mission statement. Last but not least, for goals in poverty, is teach in a way that each student feels that you value them for their character and not their economic status. And that means giving each student an equal opportunity to reach and obtain that overall goal that we have set forth in front of them. That, as a teacher, that's what we must strive to do, and that may be the most important thing, is know that each student feels that we genuinely care about their overall success. Okay? So what can we do? What's some goals for our goals and actions kind of go together here? What's some things that we can put into place for our faculty members to get everybody on board? Well, number one thing you see at the top of this pyramid is incentives. Faculty members have to have some sort of incentive in order to become more diverse educators. So the incentive may be some type of bonus. Okay, I know that seems far out there. Maybe an extra off day on duty. You know, we come up with several, but there's got to be some kind of incentive for these teachers to maybe go to an extra training, maybe reach out and do some extra educational training to become more diverse. Job postings. What kind of new teachers are we attracting? We need to we need language out there that encourages a diverse applicant to apply. And last but not least, partnerships with local universities. Catch educators early getting into the process, and try to attract a diverse teaching staff. Maybe catch them as they're going into the College of Education. Maybe somebody, for instance, with us, we're in a rural school. Find somebody from that experienced an inner city or a city school, and bring them on and let them come out here. That will add diversity to our staff and to our school, and it'll better prepare our students to go out into our culturally diverse world that we have today. So, some actions overall. These are some overall actions that stem off of our goals for students with poverty. Literacy programs, computer literacy programs, after-school program, student mentoring. Now, the family literacy program is a thing that encourages reading at an early age, okay, and encourages parents at an early age to encourage their students to read. We know that is a big deal in development of language early on and reading skills. Computer literacy programs. We've recently went to a one-to-one initiative for Google Chromebooks. So computer competency is big. After-school program and the mentoring kind of goes hand in hand, because if you're living in poverty status, then chances are you may be missing that male figure at home. You may be missing that mother figure at home. So by partnering with a mentor program, maybe an older kid, maybe a member of the faculty, somebody in the community, we can provide this mentor that is needed in every kid's life. So my second project that I want to talk about is my action research. And my action research project here, the impact of one-to-one computer initiative on student achievement levels. So what I looked at here, our 4th grade students were scoring relatively high. And then when they transition into 5th grade, we see an increase from 78% students at benchmark to 55% students at benchmark level. And so the question was, what was the cause for this? So what was the cause for this? So we implemented these computers. They received these computers, and we want to know, will these computers, what would the effect on student achievement be on these test scores? Now, after a year's time passed, computers had been implemented for an entire school year. We saw an 8% increase on test scores. And the test that the students were taking was a STAR achievement test. And this STAR achievement test, what you score on the STAR achievement test, measures how effectively you will be on the ACT Aspire that is going to be taken in the spring. So we did see an 8% increase from 55 to 63% over a year time period. And I want to talk a few minutes about why we experienced this increase. And that was because of the implementation of effective teaching strategies with these computers. If you give a kid a computer, then that's just not going to guarantee that they're going to achieve a higher test score. We've got teachers implementing things such as Nearpod, Test Prep, iExcel, Quiz. These are all programs that engage students and force students to think at a higher level. And that's what the process that we're explaining here aims at. What we did, myself, the reading coach, our administrators, and others countywide, we instituted a process here with our instructional specialists where our instructional specialists would receive training. They would then go one-on-one with the teachers. Our teachers would then give the lesson with side-by-side instruction with our specialists, and after that we would sit down and talk about what worked, what didn't work. And then twice, we did it in the first semester and then after Christmas. Each teacher took place in classroom observations. We would go out and view a model classroom lesson using the Google Chromebooks and see how other teachers were implementing them. And because of this process here, this has been the reason. It's all credited to our teachers implementing these correctly. That's why we were able to see increases in student achievement. So the findings of this research report, now that was very condensed. I was trying to pick and choose what I was going to put in here, but the overall findings was one, that we did see student achievement increase. It wasn't by a significant amount, and that was due to the lack of time. That was just a one-year process. So more time is needed to determine whether it's going to be significant in the long run or not. And that time, we're actually starting the ACT Aspire testing this coming week. So in the summer, we'll have more data and see truly how effective the implementation of this computer one-to-one program was on student achievement. So that is all. Thank you.